Star Trek Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 4 review. Was the name of this planet Erised?
I was gonna call it ego, but probably.
Yeah, I was thinking ego too, because the planet was alive and trying to eat them.
Now, so
Like,
what? One thing that took me a moment to realize is, I guess that the warp core thing too was like also fake.
yeah,
What originally I thought was like before like like a ship crashed or something there, and like the warp core was like giving the planet this like unnatural life.
Yeah, the thing.
that would be an interesting idea. Like, theorem.
Yeah, the whole thing was kind of interesting in that like the first one. Okay, there's this. Well, he also mentions what the Tellarite mentions like a stasis ship or something, which is interesting, I think, and also like the fact that there's like a Tellarite thing, like it's not out of the realm of possibility. So they start with sort of the least less. They march this thing upwards because they start with the least fantastical thing. They run into a Tellarite.
Yeah.
Not expected, but not out of the question.
Yeah.
And then you see the warp core. I think it goes, was it that? Then warp core.
No, it was Dal. I think it was Dal next. Like a flash to Dal where he was seeing what he thought was his parents, because that's what he most wanted. Because
I thought that was later on. I thought they stepped that up where they went like
I,
continuously
I
more ridiculous. Like also
well,
like
I mean,
Rock Talk running into the the bunnies and and then the warp core,
you
and then
bunny.
you don't really. It's like all these are plausible things they could run into on a planet
Yeah.
until they hit his, and it's like there's no reason they would be here. Like the Tellarite, rare but not unbelievable. Running into the warp core could be in the fact that it looks like their ship's warp core is not great. That should set off some flags. But okay, the bunnies should set off no flags. Those could be just bunnies. That the fact that
Well,
they're not afraid of Rock Talk is a little weird. But they could have just
well, actually,
Well, no, that's not that weird,
because
because
you
and
have those.
this is why they have no natural predators. Probably this is
yeah.
why capybaras are so endangered, because they trust everybody, everything, because they have no natural predators.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're thinking. Well, they might be capybaras as well, but
No, quackas,
yeah,
quackas.
quackas
Quokkas,
was
yeah.
what I was about to get
Those
to.
things that
I was
always
trying to remember
smile
the
at
name
you.
of them. Yeah, it's quackas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what.
quackas.
Yeah, capybaras are
The
like
things
a
that
Yeah,
size of a
literally throw their
horse.
child at you.
They're
yeah,
giant.
no, quackas.
Yeah, quokkas. Yeah,
They're 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 not they're not afraid of anything, because they're not used to being predated.
yeah.
And so these guys might just be really friendly, not afraid of her, because they've never had a reason to be afraid.
And honestly, I thought that was gonna go in a different direction, because I've seen like movies and shows that you got a bunch of cute little creatures, and then all of a sudden they turn vicious.
You were thinking a gremlin scenario, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Well, the other thought that kind of crossed my mind was like, okay, they're gonna try and the little bunnies are gonna try and eat her, but they try and bite her and they realize, they're all biting at her, but like it's not doing any damage because she's so
And
tough.
she's just giggling like, "Oh, that
They're
tickles."
trying to eat you. Oh.
I mean, it sort of ended up that way.
Yeah, but not in the same way.
Okay, so something just occurred to me, and it kind of confuses me all of a sudden. So, as I know, all that stuff they saw were like illusions brought on by like spores, right?
Yep. Well, not well, yeah, spores, the psychedelics and the
Yeah. For most of those, that makes sense, total sense, okay? Does not exactly make sense for the gas creature inside a robotic body.
it was a telepathic thing, I thought, not so much the you know,
Ah, okay.
it was because remember they got into their minds.
Ah, that makes
Yeah,
It's like we could feed to your mind what you most desire. And it's like you most desire to see your family, which is why they showed you your family. But you don't know what your family looks like, so they were just trying to extrapolate.
Yeah, and like the second you see, Janeway outside of the context of it's like
Ship.
it's like,
Right
yep, that's definitely
after she
yeah.
said, yeah, right after she said, I can't leave the ship.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a sec. Janeway said she can't leave the ship. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're too smart for your own good.
Well, yeah, if his parents didn't
Never
immediately tip you off, that one should have that something wasn't quite right here. Which makes me also wonder, like, what's the range on this desire locator and sort of thing? Because, like, and if it can work on holograms, because if Janeway wanted to see, the Janeway hologram wanted to see a M-class planet and explore, like, that would be her desire. Probably not, but it still looks kind of funny that it also works in that direction too.
Well, I mean, we know it worked well, they were on the ship because she was on the
Well, I
because
mean, when
Gwen
they were
was on
just picking
the
it
ship.
up and heading towards it.
Yeah, but I mean, Gwen was on the ship while they landed, and it still affected her because she saw her dad, which turned out to be not her dad.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she knew it was her dad. It wasn't her dad because he's like, "I'm so proud of you. I love you, my Gwendala."
Like the
And
fuck you are.
it's like, my dad ain't that affectionate. Hell no.
Yeah. My dad
And that he
actually knew
wanted
how
to
to give
stay
hugs.
there a while. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
It's like, wait. You don't want to take the ship, and you just said you loved me. Who are you, and what did you do to my father?
Probably
Which,
gonna
of
mark
course,
that planet off as never come here again.
yeah. I mean, Dell was kind of right. He wanted to stay home. He's like, let's not go to that planet. And
Which is a silly place.
Janeway is just like, well, I'm gonna have to report you to Starfleet. That
Oh,
fine.
second thought.
He's like, fine, I'll go.
You know what pissed me off about this episode, though?
What?
That apparently I have a lot in common with the guy whose fantasy was food.
Yeah, Jinkum.
Yes. God damn it. That'd be me. It's like, do I smell barbecue chicken? Give me. So, yeah, I get all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out what's so interesting about a warp core, though.
It's interesting to him.
I guess
Also
so.
because it's not, it's like, personally, I don't like rabbits, so the whole creepy bunny thing wouldn't really be my cup of tea either.
Mm.
Yeah, tea. Oh, rabbits too. Yeah. my mom got so pissed because my nephew was calling the Easter Bunny Hassenpfeffer.
No, no, I can imagine like the planet trying to eat the rock one. It's like, I cannot digest this. Blech.
Maybe they wanted to eat Rock Talk because they wanted to get stoned.
Good night, everybody. Ugh. Let's see. Now, see, my thing would be food. Doc's thing would probably be tea or Doctor Who stuff.
No, my thing would probably be target practice. All those bunnies like Rock Talk had, but me with a freaking crossbow or something, just like boom, 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 headshot.
And Dex would be brisket.
So you'd both be food, and mine would be catching the food for you.
Pretty much, yeah. So,
Mine would be catching the food, Dex's would be cooking the food, and yours would be eating the food.
Yeah. It sounds like a plan.
Hey, at least we know we'd be able to survive on a deserted island as long as there's enough livestock around.
So, I've seen a lot of shows and stuff where like the spaceship is being pulled down by like the planet itself, like the vines and everything. So I have a simple solution. Figure out a way how to electrify your ship.
Or just use the phasers.
We will see next week.
Yeah, that was the whole point. They left it on a thing. It's like, yeah, and they're auto-targeting phasers too, so it's not like they have to even do that. You just have to. You get to push the button. So just like,
push button. You push button.
You know, and I guess it was Janeway's way of keeping the protostar on the planet. You know, it's just like not mentioning that you could use the phasers to kill off the vines and then bring the ship back down to Earth, or to the ground rather, and just like that way they can get everybody on, and then she'd recommend, hey, we could just use the phasers. And we're gone. It's like, you could have told me that, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, you would have abandoned your friends. They're not my friends. You would have abandoned my friends.
You would abandon the crew on that planet, so I didn't mention it. I just didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't ask.
I gotta say, that hologram is pretty lifelike for being a hologram.
Right? She has such a Janeway persona.
She could totally pass the Turing test.
Well, I mean, you realize the Holodoctor was given status as a person.
Oh, yeah.
In the episode author. So, like, it's not that weird.
So I guess like an M class is habitable.
Yeah.
It's derived from the word Manshara class. Which is a Vulcan word meaning life sustaining or something like that.
Now, here's the thing though. Wouldn't their scanners have like scanned the entire planet as one giant ass life form?
It would depend, because in the very first episode of Next Generation, which was also a two-parter, they didn't pick up that the space station was a life form
Yeah.
because the whole plot of that episode, which is not a spoiler because this is over 20 years old now.
And it's the first freaking
Actually, I think
episode.
it's 30. Yeah.
It's the first.
It
Seriously.
of Next Generation, and it has my boy Q. But it in that episode, the space station that at Farpoint Station, which is what was a group that wanted to join Starfleet. And so they were manifesting everything that the Starfleet wanted, making it like, oh look, we're so great. Yeah, can we please join you? We'll give you all these silks and blah blah blah. And it turned out that the space station was actually this this living ship, this organism that was using the geothermals to sustain itself, but the people were only giving it enough energy to have it manifest the stuff for them and not enough to actually survive, like thrive. And so its mate came and started blasting the state or started blasting the town, and that's when they discovered that it was a sentient life form because Deanna Troi, being a betazoid, uh, picked up on it, and they used their phasers to energize this creature fully after getting everybody to leave the station, and it joined up with its mate and had a happily ever after, which was exactly what the Q wanted, but the Q couldn't do that because that would be meddling. So he was making it look like he was just fucking around with humans instead.
Aw. But I have
But
to say,
really,
that kind of sounds like an episode of Doctor Who.
it kind of does. Like
You
it
probably know which one I'm talking about, don't you?
but it why do you think I like Doctor Who and Star Trek? They are very similar.
Ugh.
They are
Oh man, I just had a weird thought. Like, I think he couldn't. I don't know that he could keep up with the schedule. And I know he's super
well,
busy, but I was just thinking like Patrick Stewart as the Doctor.
oh, that would be epic.
But yeah, he's too big and he's too busy and he's got enough on his plate with being Picard
Picard.
all,
Yeah.
Probably
all the
like
time.
maybe just like a guest appearance as
Oh
like
yeah, he
one
could
of
do
the
a guest spot. I don't think that would be
doctors.
too out of the
Yeah.
question if he wanted to. But I think he's got enough sci-fi stuff on his plate to deal with.
Yeah, I don't think he would have the time or the energy
Yeah.
because like he's old now and he's not even in Picard he just isn't, he's running but he's not like running like they do in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although
I'm under no illusions that would ever happen because
yeah,
he-
although imagine all those those Dr. Yaz shippers when freaking when Yaz is like, I love the doctor, and then the doctor turns into Patrick Stewart. Because that would be hilarious. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, yeah.
yeah, it was just a funny thought about it, but
I'm glad
it
to
would
see.
it would totally end up being a reversal of Curse of the Fatal Death.
I am glad though to see that she was kind enough to save the little slime doggy.
Yes.
Although I do love the line, "You're smarter than you look, aren't you?" Or maybe not.
Yeah.
That just
Murph.
it just
I
makes me.
love Murph. He's so cute.
Now I just can't. Now I'm just imagining Rowan Atkinson going out for the doctor.
Who?
Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson
Oh, Ron Atkinson.
as the doctor.
He was.
Go.
I mean, he played a pretty decent doctor.
Let's just go full circle with that and actually have him play the doctor.
That
I
would
mean,
be really epic.
that's. I mean, that's not crazy. I mean,
No, it's not.
and
It would be really epic.
he's not that busy from what I can tell. Like he's, he's not. I don't know if what he's doing these days, but I don't think it's anything too big that he couldn't step away. Like he had his little movie thing, and he had Mr. Bean and Blackadder. Like it's all just whether he like the money lines up, whether he really wants it, or because like he's got range and he can do all sorts of things, and I think he would
Oh
make.
yeah.
If
He
you
would
if
make
you
a
if
good
you only know
doctor.
him from Mr. Bean, go watch some Blackadder.
Oh,
Could
seriously.
you imagine Blackadder as the doctor?
Oh man. No. I'm sorry, but Rowan Atkinson is the new master.
Oh my god.
Yes, like Blackadder master.
That would be entertaining. If he could go either way, like
Yeah.
you could start, it could be sort of that
It could be one of those things
almost more
where
entertaining Sixth Doctor to a certain extent.
it could be where one of those things where it's the master pretending to be the doctor. Where the doctor, the doctor thinks it's a future incarnation of them, and he's just like, "Oh yes, I'm you in the future," and it's like, "Wait, don't you remember this happening?" Yes, but you know how that goes.
He can't
You
retain it.
It's locked. It's locked because it's happening right now. So of course I don't remember it, which I think is a great little flyby thing, like to make it so that it's like, oh yeah, of course I can't retain that information. Duh.
Yeah, I know it's getting. I was throwing a couple of wrenches into this thing with this review by throwing in a couple doctors in here, but we had to make our quota. But it just like that one hit me, and I was like, "Hey, that's a neat idea." Anyway,
We've gotta make our we've gotta have our Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, gotta fill out those bingo squares.
yeah.
Exactly.
Anything else on the episode proper?
That weapon is kind of cool. Maybe they should remember to throw it out the ship next time.
If that's all we've got, I will conclude the stream.
Subscribe.